What if you were chained up your entire life? Your neck was stiff and you could only look forward at this blank wall in front of you. What if you were born and lived in a cave? Now, as you're staring at this blank wall in front of you, there's a fire behind you. And in between the fire and you are people that are just walking by. And they're living their every day-to-day lives, and all you see are their shadows. You can hear them, and you can hear everything that's going on, every word that they speak, and in the shadows you can see their mouth moving, and you know that it's them. You can hear them, you can sense them, but what you see are these shadows, and those shadows are all you've ever known. So wouldn't it make sense if those shadows were all you've ever seen or heard, that those shadows would be your undeniable reality? I mean, you see them move and you hear them speak, and to you, you're no different. To you, you just see your shadow on the wall, and you're nothing but a shadow. But that shadow is real to you. Now, what would happen if you broke loose? You would turn around and you'd see the fire, but your eyes are so used to the darkness that they're still adjusting to the light. And you would start seeing these things. You'd start seeing these things passing by that you've always seen, but you've always only known them as the shadow that you see. The shadow has always been the reality until now. Now, once your eyes start to adjust, you would eventually be able to see where those people were coming in and out of. And then you can see a way out. Now, still adjusting to what's happening, all dazed and confused, you're still moving past the fire into this mysterious light. And it hurts your head. You're in this fog, but you're still pressing on, and you would still keep going, and your neck and your legs and your body would feel something for the first time in your entire life. You would feel freedom.
And then you'd be outside. You would finally be outside of the cave that you've lived in your entire life. You would hear the birds and hear the wind through the trees, but you would only recognize their shadows. These things that you've always seen, but you would only know them by their shadows. Your eyes would almost fully adjust, and you would begin to see things for what they really are, for what is actually real. Eventually, your mind has changed into knowing what's actually real. And then you would be completely free. And you can look up at the sun and know that this was the source, the true source of everything that you perceive to be real. And for the first time in your entire life, you would feel truly alive.
What's up, Misfits? This story is known as the allegory of the cave that Plato wrote in his book, The Republic. Now, many people have used this allegory as a metaphor for heaven or a greater reality, a sense of enlightenment, or just seeing things differently. But I think this allegory is a little different from what people have used it as. See, Plato writes in this allegory that once your eyes adjust, once you get out of the cave, you'll eventually be able to look at the sun. What Plato is saying is that eventually you will be able to see the source that has been giving you knowledge. You will be able to see the source that has been giving you your truth, or at least your perception of it. And the sun in this story is Plato's representation for the good. Now, I could sit here and try to define and explain what good is, but that's only my perception of it. I'm interested to hear what you define good as. So in the comments below, write what your definition of good is. But getting back to Plato, he says, once people see what good is, that is the highest point of knowledge. Look, I know we all see things differently, but this is the one thing that is so hard for people to grasp and understand, because it actually takes adjusting. It actually takes work, and that is to see the good in the bad. Look, maybe you right now, or maybe we all are in a cave, and we have yet to see these things that are truly good. And maybe we are just shadows. Maybe there is a greater reality out there than what we perceive right now. Remember, in the cave, your neck was stiff. It took turning your head. It took changing your mindset to see. And look, coming out of the old way of thinking is the hardest part. Our eyes will be adjusting, our minds will be all confused, but then we'll see it. We will see what we perceived. good or bad thinking, we will see that our truth was only given to us by what is good. And this is why seeing the good in the bad is the greatest level of knowledge that you will ever achieve, because it is only goodness that gives light to truth. So without having eyes to see goodness, we'll never know the truth. But here's another hypothetical for you. So let's say you got free, but there was others trapped in the cave that you came from. If you were in the cave and then made your way out and you saw it and you truly believed it, would you fight for people to see the same thing you do? Even if they told you were crazy, even if they said there's no such thing as the sun, there's no such thing as good, would you still go back in the cave and tell people the truth? Or would you stay outside and let those people continue to live a lie? Personally, I'd go back in. So listen, I make all that on my piano and I make all the music to my videos. So if you like what you hear, it's all on my Patreon account. Also, I'm on Instagram as Nate.Alger. It has motivational stuff for life as well as more music, so hit me up on there too. And thank you to my patrons who are supporting me. Thank you so much for supporting my vision to see the world changed through art. And if you want to know more about that, head over to my Patreon account to see what's up. And thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you misfits later. Peace!